and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. It is halfway through Genrethon. It is day 4 of Genrethon, and I just wanted to have a little catch up of what I've been reading this week and how it's been going and what else we've got coming up, etc, etc. So I've done very well. I've actually completed 3 books so far, each from different genres, and I am I'm going to finish a book tonight, and I'm also buddy reading another book from another genretastic. And yeah, that's going well. And then I've got 4 more books that I am hoping to read this week. Oh, I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's going very well. So I will start with the first book that I read, which was a genre that I'd never read before, and that was a play, and I read Skylight by David Hare. Now, I loved this. I gave this 5 stars, and there really hasn't been many 5-star books flying around this year, and I absolutely loved this. I flew through it in a mere matter of hours. Now, granted, it is 104 pages long, and it is sort of like obviously it's written in a script form, so it's very easy to read, but I just loved this. I've never read a play before. I found the speech and stage directions made for really quick and snappy reading, so I got through it really quickly. I loved both the characters, even though they were both flawed, and I was amazed at how much history and emotion you could fit in 104 pages of the play, and I want to read all of David Hare's plays now. I only regret, and will regret for the rest of my life, not seeing this at the theatre when it was at the theatre. I have a friend at work who saw it at the theatre and loved it, and David's sister saw it at the theatre and loved it. It is amazing. It is a story. It's all set in one flat. It is set in, oh my goodness me, I've forgotten her name, Kyra's flat. It's set in Kyra's flat, and Tom, who is her previous employer, who she had a romantic history with, comes to visit one evening, and it is a conversation between those two. There is a slight bit at the beginning which has Tom's son in, but apart from that, it's just the two of them, and I was just captivated and couldn't put it down. Absolutely loved it. If this ever goes back on at the theatre, I'm definitely going to go and see it. Can't believe I missed Kerry Mulligan and Bill Nye in it, but really, really good, amazing. If anyone else has read any of David Hare's plays, let me know which one I should go to next, because I loved it. And just as a first play to read, to give it 5 stars, absolutely adored it. Really, really pleased with that. Do you want to act that out later, David? Do you want to act this out later?
Yeah, good then.
The next book I read was also a 5-star book, so I have been listening to this over the course of the month, but we did say that books that we finished in this Genrethon week would count, and I have been listening to an audiobook of a non-fiction book called The Year of Living Danishly by Helen Russell, and this was brilliant. I love this. The content was everything I wanted to know about relocating to another country, all the things I wanted to know about living in another country. It was written by a woman, probably for a woman, I would say this book was written for. There's so much stuff, it was set out really nicely, so every month it was split into months, but then within the month there'd be like a subcategory. So one month she finds out she's pregnant, so then it goes in about all this like childcare and the state looking after you, and then there's a Christmas month. That was obviously my favourite month. Months about going on holiday, like all the Danish people go on holiday in July, so a month within that month talking about holiday, talking about food, talking about work, talking about interior design, and I just loved it, and it has absolutely sparked a love for all things Danish and Nordic in me, and I've just been searching for books on Denmark, searching for books on Nordic. There was an entire chapter about something called, and I'm going to get this wrong, it's spelled H-Y-G-G-E, but I think it's called Hygge, and it is a word that hasn't really got an English translation, but means being cozy inside, and it's a verb and also an adjective. So you can be doing something in this cozy way, or you can be feeling like this way, or it is just an event that you do, and it just sounded like absolute perfection. I loved this. I just thought it was amazing, and I can't recommend it enough if you want to. It was just such a nice, different thing that I'd read, and I loved it, and I just want to go to Denmark now, so let's all go. The third book that I finished this month, which wasn't as good as the third book that I finished in Genrethon, wasn't as good as the first 2 5-starers. Imagine 2 5-starers in a week, back to back. I was flying high. It was We Need New Names by Norvala Bulawayo, which I gave 2 stars. Now, I just didn't get on with this, and I don't know if it was a reflection on having read 2 5-star books that I absolutely adored, but I found this very disjointed, and I didn't feel any feelings towards Darling, who is the main character in this book, and any of her friends. So it tells the story of Darling, who is brought up in a village in Zimbabwe, which is called Paradise, and she basically, it tells of her childhood and the things that she gets up to, and then she ends up moving to America, which happens very, very suddenly. As I said, I didn't grow attached to any of the characters in here, and I didn't feel like it gave as much backstory as what was happening in Zimbabwe at the time. Like, I didn't feel educated enough on it. Like, yeah, so that, and also I felt really saddened by the fact that there was a fucking horrible dog death right at the end of this, and which was totally unnecessary. Sorry if my washing machine's making loads of noise. Totally unnecessary, and also like bad shit happens to a dog halfway through. Like, I don't want to read about that. And that's basically all I can remember about this book. Like, I didn't love it, and yeah, it was just meh. I gave it 2 stars. So, in terms of books that I'm currently reading, I am currently reading Bobcat and Other Stories by Rebecca Lee, which is a selection of short stories. I am about 50 pages from the end of this. I'm halfway through the penultimate story, and I have absolutely adored this. I've really, really loved it. I will go into more detail when I've read it, but these are just amazing. I haven't really read any short stories that aren't magical realism, so this was really refreshing and fun for me to enjoy. Not that I haven't enjoyed magical realism short stories in the past. It's got stories in here about there's a lot of like college-based stories. So there's one about plagiarism. There's one at the moment. The one that I'm in at the moment is they have become apprentices for an architect, and they're all sort of like, they've been told that they're not allowed to fall in love with each other, and everyone's like looking around thinking, oh fucking hell, I want to be in love with these people. So that's very good. And the opening story, which was called Bobcat, was about a dinner party that was happening, and a married couple with the wife who's very, very pregnant. They were hosting it, and there's a woman there who has been attacked by a bobcat, and she wrote a book about it. She talks about it all the time. It's basically like her thing. And there's also a couple there that have that the husband is having an affair, and everyone knows apart from the wife. And yeah, I found this, I'm really, really loving it, and I'm so pleased Brittany sent it to me. I got this as my blind date with a book from Brittany, so thank you very much, B. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'm also currently buddy reading, although I am behind on today's and yesterday's pages, so I'm going to have a bath and resolve that. Emma by Jane Austen. I am 140 pages in, up to chapter 15, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I've also been watching Clueless, because Clueless was based on Emma, so that's always fun to know. And yeah, it's very enjoyable. I wouldn't say I'm loving it as much as I am, as I did with Pride and Prejudice, but again, it's very, very readable, easy classic, and enjoyable. I'm just struggling to keep up with the pages because I'm trying to read so much, and I feel like I want to devote some time to a classic when I read it. So me flying through 70 pages does no one any good, because I don't really take much in, so I need to actually like have a little sit down and read with it. But Kristyn is doing a Twitter sprint later, so I'm going to try and get through a bit more of this. So I still have 4 books that I'm hoping to get through, although I'm not sure if it's going to happen. So far I have read 3 books from 3 different categories, and I'm currently reading 2 other books which are still from different categories, but also from the non-fiction category that I've already read from. I have When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi, which is a story, which is non-fiction obviously, an account of when a surgeon realises he's got quite like severe end stage cancer, and his journey from becoming a surgeon to a patient. And Men Explain Things to Me and Other Essays by Rebecca Solnit. This is a collection of feminist essays, very, very short. I imagine I will get through this. Yeah, I imagine I'll get through that. And then they're both non-fiction, and then the final genre that I'm hoping to get to is graphic novels, and I've got here The Gigantic Beard That Was Evil by Stephen Collins and Snapshots of a Girl by Belden Sezon. So yes, they are readathon staples, obviously, so hoping to get to those too. So how is everybody else getting on with Genrethon at this halfway stage? I hope you're all having a good time, and you've all been reading a few genres that you haven't normally read. We have been doing Twitter sprints on Twitter. I'm sure you've been joining in with some of them, and it's been lovely to see you all join in. Kristyn, it's Wednesday, and Kristyn is sprinting tonight. Kristyn from Vienna Waits Books. She's sprinting tonight between 9 and 11 GMT time. Minnie, showing off your new haircut. Minnie's had her haircut. Minnie. So then Kristyn is also sprinting tomorrow. She hasn't announced her times for tomorrow yet, but if you keep an eye on her Twitter page, she will. Then Joce is sprinting on Friday, Brittany on Saturday, and I am bringing it up again in the end on Sunday too. Again, I'm not sure what time I'm going to be doing that yet, but I will let you know on the day, so keep an eye on my Twitter, which is @LaurenTheBooks. And also on Sunday, so Sunday, I think it will be 8 PM GMT time, we are going to be doing a live show and talking about what we've read this month, what we've read in Genrethon, answering any questions people have had about Genrethon. listening to you lovely lot and telling us what you enjoyed about Genrethon. And we are also going to be announcing the winner of the giveaway that was hosted on Brittany's channel, which I will show, which I will link down below. So that is my little roundup of Genrethon. I'm very pleased with how it's going. It's been amazing how many people have got on board. Like, we actually, me and the girls we couldn't believe how many people, and we've got a little Voxer group and we speak on there every day anyway, but we're like, how many people are involved in this? This is unreal how many people are involved in it. So we are so thankful to everyone that's joined in, and we really hope you've had a great time. It's only halfway through and I'm having an effing brilliant time. And I will see you all again on Friday for a live showing of this face. See you then, bye!